she's pregnant. She was pregnant with our twins at the time, and it was rush hour. We were driving down the road, and Kenesha went to get sick and opened up the car door. She leaned out. Excuse me. She leaned out the door, and she fell out of the car, and the back tire hit her.
We are about to watch the parole hearing of an Iowa man who has a long record of violent crimes and breaking the law, arrests. He's already done Fed time. Now he's looking to get out of prison early for medical reasons. Now we're going to see him lie to the parole board. I'll just break the news right now. He tells the parole board a story about why he is locked up now, and mind you, it is a lie. I will share the truth
How do you
with
want to
you
do this,
at the
guys?
end of the parole hearing. But let's see how the parole board reacts to his lie, and will they handle it accordingly. With that, let's jump in.
So I think we are going to go ahead and get started. So good morning, Mr. Gall. How are you doing?
I just had surgery, but I'm okay. How are you guys? I appreciate you taking my parole hearing.
Geez, well, are you feeling okay? Are you feeling like you're able to understand us and participate? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to go over a couple of things with you about how today's going to go. So first, my name is Meredith Lamberti, and here with me are Jesse Rincon and Susie Wynot. And we're the 3-member panel of the Board of Parole who are going to be talking with you this morning. All right, so what's going to happen is that each of the 3 of us might have some questions for you, and we'll start with our questions first.
Okay.
And then once we're done with our questions, then you'll have the chance to make a statement and tell us anything else you'd like for us to know or anything that you might have prepared for today. And then once you've had a chance to make a statement, then the 3 of us are going to go into our deliberation where we discuss what our decision is going to be. And we'll do that here on the Zoom, so you'll be able to listen to our discussion as we're having it. And then once we reach a final decision, I'll turn back to you. I'll explain anything about that decision that might be confusing, and then that'll end our interview for the day, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready to get started?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Iowa crime primarily, all right? So the serious injury by vehicle charge. So can you just give us, a brief but detailed explanation of what was going on that day and what led to your victim being injured?
Yeah, I can. It's just, okay, so Kenesha is my fiance, and we were on our way to marriage counseling. And she's pregnant. She was pregnant with our twins at the time. And it was rush hour. We were driving down the road, and Kenesha went to get sick and opened up the car door. She leaned out. Excuse me. She leaned out the door, and she fell out of the car, and the back tire hit her. I had earlier in the day, I had a drink at lunchtime, and I had alcohol in my system, but she fell out of the car, got hit by the car, and I immediately went to go get help. And I went to it was right up the road. I went and got the marriage counselor from our church. I got him and his wife and brought them back. I was in such an extreme panic that I brought them back, and Kenesha was very hurt. And the police and hospital came and took her to the hospital. And the police came. They asked me what was going on. I explained to them. And as soon as they found out that I was on federal supervision, they wanted to search the car. I gave them consent to search the car. And then they asked for a breathalyzer, and I breathalyzed, and I blew a .09. The driving limit is .08. and they took me to jail for that. And I still struggle with what happened to this day. It's just Kanisha got very hurt for something that shouldn't have happened. It was an accident. I take full responsibility. I shouldn't have had alcohol in my system. I just wish that things would have been different.
It sounds like you guys have been able to work on your relationship and work on some counseling since then.
Yeah.
So what's your relationship like now?
Amazing. We just can't wait for this to be over and so that we can be back together. I know that she needs my help out there as a single parent. We love each other very much, and we just can't wait to be a family again and get married like we were supposed to that day. And we were supposed to get married 3 weeks later. After March 1st, we were supposed to get married March 28th. But we just want to get married and be a family again. And she needs my help. I know that. And I just wish that this whole thing didn't happen, because it was really an accident. I take full responsibility for having alcohol in my system, but it was a tragic accident. It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. We understand that and appreciate that. We can see how much that affects you. So thank you for sharing that with us. Can you talk to us a little bit about the counseling that you've been doing with Father Bernie that Amber was telling us about?
Yeah, so basically, I've sought out therapy because I wasn't handling. I mean, obviously, this is a tragic situation. I lost my twins. I just haven't been handling. I blame myself and just had a real hard time processing this stuff. I reached out for therapy in the feds, and they're talking about they're so backlogged and don't have the funding to do basic things. So I reached out to a chaplain, and Father Bernie has been amazing to me. He's gone above and beyond trying to help me. And he's helped me, he's just helped me to move forward and forgive myself, and that I can't live the life that I was living. Excuse me, sorry.
It's totally okay. You've been through a lot of shock and a lot of big losses.
He just taught me that I need to move forward, and I can't blame myself, and I can't live the type of life that I was living before, and that I need to take accountability for the things that I minimize, and just be a better person and be an example to my kids and be the husband that Kanisha needs me to be.
It sounds
tell me-
like, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it sounds like he's been really, really helpful for you.
I couldn't, that's an understatement. He became a friend. I mean, he's pretty much the only real solid friend that actually cares. And he's reestablished my relationship with God, and I'm very grateful for that.
I think it shows a lot of maturity and growth that you reached out to him to start addressing those things. I appreciate you answering my questions. I'm gonna see if Jesse or Susie have any questions for you. Jesse?
Yeah. How you doing, Brian? I'm Jesse. Nice to meet
How you
you.
doing, sir? Nice to meet you, too.
You know, in this business, I don't too often get to say this, but I'm gonna say this, and I really want you to hear this. You're ready. I think you're ready for a good change. And
I
I
appreciate
think,
it.
yes. And I just want to know, you've done the hard part now, almost serving your time in federal prison. Now you're about ready to go to what I consider an easier transition to work release. You've already done the hard part. Are you ready just to get through
I
that?
am.
Okay.
I am, sir.
Okay.
I really
And-
am. Go ahead.
No, I just
Apologize
want
for-
to, what kind of work would you be looking for, you think?
I want to learn a trade. I'd really like to learn how to weld or something that's a recession-proof job so that I can take care of my kids and my family.
Well,
Anything.
And that makes sense. I just encourage you to have the drive that you have right now. Don't forget, even though the hurt hurts, don't forget the hurt. You know what I mean? That'll keep a good barrier for you to continue to do well. I just want to see you dedicate yourself to you first, and then to whatever else is in your life. If that makes sense? Because if you're doing well, everything else around you will do well. Make sense?
Absolutely.
That's all I have for you. You have a good day.
Susie?
Yeah, I only have one question. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Been better, I've been worse.
Okay, I can appreciate that. It's obvious we're dealing with some mental health challenges at this point, and that's very understandable regarding the circumstances. Excuse me, this morning. I'd like to know if you're taking any type of mental health in addition to having the therapy.
I was, but right after I got sentenced in the feds, they took me off of it because they said it was non-formulary. They moved me to CCA Leavenworth, which is USP. It's like a pretrial, like a county jail in Leavenworth, USP for people that haven't been sentenced yet. And I sat there for almost 8 months before they moved me here to Rochester. So I sat there needing surgery, and I didn't get it until literally just last week. And things, I apologize, but yeah, they took me off of it.
Okay, all right. Thank you for sharing all that information. I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't have any other comments.
Bryan, what was your surgery for?
I had a open wound and it wasn't healing. And they did plastic surgery to go in and fix it. So it was the wound was tunneling towards my hip bone. And the surgeon said it would have only been maybe 3 weeks to a month before I would have got a bone infection. So they pulled my whole muscle, my left glute back like this, like an onion, went in there and cut it out where the tunnel was, and then put 50 staples back around it and reconstructed the muscle. So that's why I'm sitting leaning on this chair, because it's on the left side of my body.
Yeah, that sounds pretty painful.
It was.
I don't think I have any other questions.
Not either.
All right, so now is your time to tell us anything else that you'd like for us to know or anything that you might have prepared for us today.
While I've been in here, like I said, I'm a medical inmate, so I couldn't get a lot of the jobs that normal inmates get because I'm a medical inmate. But what I have been doing for the past 9.5 months, I've been helping paralyzed inmates work out, changing their weights for them and picking up and handing them workout equipment so that they can work out. I got my forklift certification literally just 2.5 weeks ago. I just finished the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People class on Wednesday, yesterday. So I just finished that. I just want you guys to know that I take full responsibility for having alcohol in my system. I wasn't intoxicated, but it's not the point. I take responsibility for what happened. It's just something that I'll have to live with for the rest of my life. I'm just very, very thankful that I have an amazing fiance that wants to be here and wants to move forward with me. And I'm just very fortunate. It could have been much worse. I could have lost her too. It was a tragic accident, but I'm just looking to put this behind me and move forward and be the man that Father Bernie and me discussed that I need to be for my family and kids. I'm ready, and I appreciate you guys taking this hearing.
Thank you, we appreciate that. Sit back, listen, and we'll go into our discussion now. Susie or Jesse, what are your thoughts on the recommendation of, parole 10B?
Yeah, I'm going to support this recommendation. I thought this was a really good interview, and that Bryan was very upfront with us about all the challenges and what's happened. I commend him on reaching out and going above and beyond. when services weren't available to reach out to the chaplain. It sounds like this has been a great mentor to him, and it's someone who's on the outside in the community who will probably be able to continue to work with him. He also got his forklift certificate, so I think that opens the door to more job opportunities and stability as he's moving forward. I am going to do a PGD 310B, excuse me. I'd be looking at mental health, substance abuse, and a 50A. Jeffrey?
Yeah, I think this was a really good interview as well. Like I said, I rarely get to say when I think somebody's ready, and I think he's at a point where it could go well for him if he just stays dedicated to himself. So I'm in agreement with the DOC recommendation to parole. Same code Susie said. In prison, it seems to be hard for these guys to reach out, but he's already broke that stigma. So I'm really proud of him for doing that and staying in touch with the guy that's been mentoring him. So I'm in agreement.
All right, I am too. I agree with all those codes. So Brian, we were really impressed with your interview today.
Thank you very much. It means a lot.
It sounds like you've really taken a lot of initiative to do what you can to better yourself. And like you said, you know, this is a really tragic accident, and it's clear that it still affects you. And it sounds like you've got great support in your fiance and in your pastor. And I just encourage you to continue to use those people that you have in your corner to make sure that you're staying right down the same path that you're on right now to do well. Okay. But we agree. We think that you're ready. We think it's time for you to get out there, you know, be a dad, be a husband, be a good worker. We think that you can do it. So we're going to grant your parole today. So that'll allow you to case plan with your federal supervision too. And then you'll go out. That'll help you figure out exactly when you go out, but you have the Iowa parole granted. So that's not going to get in the way of your release. The things that we were talking about, the codes. So you'll start at the work release when you leave. And then there are a couple of things that we'd like you to do when you do get out. One is to engage in some sort of mental health counseling, which it sounds like you'd like to. And then also do something to address your history of substance abuse and drinking. And then the final one is there's going to be a prohibition on drinking alcohol. So no drinking, no liquor stores, no bars that don't sell food. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I thank you sincerely for taking my interview and for granting my parole. And you guys won't see me or hear about a parole violation. I just want to get home to my kids and my wife. Just sincerely thank you, bottom of my heart.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
You will.
Thanks for doing the work to get to where you are today.
Thank you very much.
Wish you the
And
best.
thank you, Amber. I appreciate it, Amber.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Christensen, for setting this all up for us too.
I'll tell him he's in the other room.
Gotcha. All right.
Hey,
Thank you.
board,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amber.
would you mind if I said something to Brian real quick on here?
No, go ahead.
Brian, we've had a lot of phone conversations over the past several months, so it's good to see your face.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at you here and there, so.
No, you are.
And, you know, some of them phone conversations have been a little contentious, but I'm proud of you for putting in some work. And I hope that the Brian I saw here today is the one that goes out there and does all these things when he gets out. And following up with, you know, therapy, I think that's probably been really good for you. I hope you continue to do all of that. And best of luck to you.
Thank you very much, Amber. It means a lot.
Thanks, Board of Parole. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. Good to shut off.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, there you have it. Iowa, they're nuts. Like, what were you had a really good hearing. You're on great track. You're doing well. I mean, literally, what happened in this case is not at all what he said. He backed his car over her. The way that the picture that he paints is, well, you know, we're driving to our therapy, and I don't know, she opened the door because she was sick, because everyone does that, you know, that people don't open windows anymore. No. And so when you're pregnant, you open the door and then you fall out of the car. And then when you fall out of the car, the tire goes over your head. And then, even according to his story, it made no sense. Imagine your pregnant fiance falls out of the car. Are you really going to drive to your therapist's house to get them? Which is, even in his best case scenario story, what he did, versus stopping the car and calling the police. The whole thing is nuts. They have the audacity to say that was a good interview. What, these are parole board members that are handpicked by the governor to represent and keep your state safe. They are a danger, in my opinion. How dare they? It bothers me to the biggest extent. This is all we have, by the way. And this guy has a long record, and a horrible prisoner, write-ups in prison. I mean, he sues the prisons. I mean, there are a lot of different files on this. He's quite annoying. I mean, I'm talking about smuggling stuff into prison and then him suing the prison over it. It's just, a Cedar Rapids man was arrested this week on charges that he, while drunk, backed the car into a pregnant woman who had fallen out of the vehicle, causing life-threatening injuries. And she did lose the twins. 32 is charged with serious injury by a motor vehicle, felony, and operating while intoxicated, second offense. And it's not a second offense, by the way. We'll go through. He has more than that. They're wrong. According to a criminal record complaint, he had been driving Wednesday near the intersection of 33rd Avenue when his passenger fell out of the car. He backed the vehicle up and knocked her to the ground, possibly running her over. And as we know, he did. So she gets out and he backs up. That's what happened. Now, why? Now, the police, obviously, they only got him. The actual charges that they got him on were serious injury by vehicle. They didn't charge him with anything higher. And they also intoxicated, second offense. And again, it wasn't his second offense. That's the strange part. I don't know why. We'll go through that. When police arrived, Edwards, who was 13 weeks pregnant, was bleeding from her pelvic area. Edwards was taken to the University of Iowa with life-threatening injuries. Oh no, I was driving. She got sick, and I did nothing wrong. I was just at lunch. I had, one drink. I did that. Oh, this is a good hearing. They're nuts. They really are. They're dangerous. Whew. Can you even imagine? These are the people that are put in charge of protecting the great state of Iowa. You can literally have these three randos, like clueless, gullible, I think just complete dangerous people on your parole board, and it will change an entire state. It will change the outcomes of lives. It will change. You think that he should go back to her? That's who they're releasing him to? Are you kidding me? Let's go through his long record. He's not a child. He's in his 40s. Acts like a child. They treat him like a child. Oh, you're doing great. Yeah, you finished a book, Habits of Successful People. Yeah, that's really gonna change your life, bro. Like, what else has he done? Like, the guys are, like, no programs, no stops. No. What we don't. Let's just make sure he reads highly successful habit book. You're real great. You read a book. Woohoo! Parole for Tate. Can't make this stuff up, really. When Richard shared this with me, I was like, this is just so crazy. This is just so, it makes anyone with a little bit of who's not a sheeple, who has some common sense, it just makes you. So anyways, it starts in 2006. This is his first arrest. All right. Speeding. Then 2009, he has another speeding, but remember, when you get arrested for this stuff, it means there's something more going on. Now, he decided to go to a trial, found guilty. Arrested on 2/17/2009. So this is 8 days after that arrest. Operating a vehicle. Now, this was his first OWI. Okay. He spent 4 days in jail. They gave him 30, suspended it. And he also violated probation on this. Now he's arrested on 3/21/2009. I feel like I'm zoomed in too much for this. This is kind of annoying me. All right. And it's robbery first degree. We know robbery first degree. That's a serious thing. And they decided to give him deferred 5 years because why not? Even though he goes to trial, because he's just a good boy, I'm sure. And he had all these other things, driving without a license, violation of probation, right? But it was all just, what's a big deal? Then he has arrested on 6/12/2009. So after getting this big break, 3 months later, he gets arrested again. So obviously the judge and all the system, babying him, it's really working. Then a month later, 7/14/2009, he gets arrested again, trespassing. Why they're not revoking him, who knows? Arrested again on 9/3/2009, consumption, intoxication. And it seems that he's buying alcohol for people under 21. That's a second offense. So either that or I don't know if he was under 21 at that time. Would that be this? Maybe that's possible. Arrested on 9/21/2009, interference with official acts. So that's just that's what, like 2 weeks after that one. And assault on a peace officer. Okay. And it goes on and on. I mean, there's other things in here. And here he has consumption intoxication, second offense. 11/6/2009, sentenced 90 days jail. Now he's arrested on 4/16/2010, driving with a license revoked. Yep. Now 4/20, that's a good date to get arrested on, right? 4/20, of course he had to be arrested there. That's 4 days after that one. Driving again with a license revoked. Because who cares? What's the big deal? And operating while intoxicated, second offense. So you see, it's interesting in those records, they don't show that, but this was in 2010 his second OWI. Then he's arrested on 7/9/2010, possession of contraband in the facility. This is when they found, in the facility some stuff. But hey, you know what? He doesn't have any problem. He finished a book on good habits. 5/29/2012, theft. 6/11/2012, DV, assault. Okay. Yep. He's a good guy though. I'm sure he by accidentally she fell out of the car and that was it. That's the only thing he did wrong. 6/28, a couple weeks after that one, he gets DV again. 6/20, I don't know that one. Oh, that was arrested on. Okay. 7/2/2012, parole violation. Huh. 11/26/2012, voluntary absence, which they call escape. Sentenced 8 days. Wow, 8 days. They're real tough on crime here. 11/26/2012, that's interference. Okay. Arrested on 4/29/2015, disorderly. That was dismissed. I guess they didn't think it was so serious. A day later, though, because I'm sure he learned his lesson, 4/30/2015, all these different violations. 8/31/2022. So he goes all this time. Maybe that's because he was serving. Finally, they said enough is enough, and he's serving his time. And this is a speeding. And and then we have, nope. Okay, so that's speeding. He's arrested. And then 3/2/2023, the serious injury by a vehicle. And look what they say here. Count 2 is operating while under the influence, fourth offense. So it shows here on 3/1/2023 dismissed, on 6/5/2023. So it could be that some of the OWIs were dismissed, but yeah, I don't know. And there you have it. Thank you, Sir Richard, for lining this up. I don't know if that was a little bit clumsy of an unpacking. I think my bottom line takeaway here is that we just saw someone, I don't like, what are they getting from prison? So he's getting out like early And because he's sick, he's, you know, getting his way again. They basically coddled him and said, yeah, you're good. You're good. I mean, he's only been locked up in this prison since June 2nd, 2023. So he spent like a year and I guess 3 months in prison. For driving over his fiance and terminate, you know, and seriously injuring her, life threatening. She lost her twins. I mean, that sounds like ample time for someone with a long record of history, DV and prison time and bad conduct in prison. But no, he's going to do great. I'm sure we won't see him again. And whew, here you have it. But really, again, my takeaway is the incompetency of their parole board. It just feels criminal to me. You can't let him. He actually is getting out thinking that, man, all I did was have a drink. Now I'm in prison. And with that, I'll let you go.
I think this was a really good interview as well. Like I said, I rarely get to say when I think somebody's ready, and I think he's at a point where it could go well for him if he just stays dedicated to himself. So I'm in agreement with the DOC recommendation.